Hey folks, Machinery Pete here. I'm at Wisconsin Farm Tech Days just south of Eau Claire and visiting with Jim Weideman, owner of Midwest Sidewalls. Now Jim, we met a few years ago at a show.
Yep.
And you had people stopping right and left with the your amazing invention here. The tire, what is it called? The
tire shooter labor saver.
Tire shooter labor saver. Okay, now before we get to that awesome innovation, we got to get a little background on Midwest Sidewalls here in the company. Jim, I understand your late grandfather who recently passed got into the tire biz.
Yep, he had a tire shop on the side of his farm, and I was kind of doing the bucks behind it, and we were trying to save some money, so we started cutting sidewalls. Started selling sidewalls, and then we started making tire shooters because everybody wanted us to come and help cover bunker, but we can't be every place, so we thought it was a tool that would help that.
So the tire shooter, was that about 7-8 years ago you developed that?
Yep, 7 years ago. 8 years ago it was developed, and then 7 years ago it went to retail.
Okay. And you've sold these things like all over the place, haven't you?
Yep, we got a dealer in New York, Canada, Ontario, Winnipeg, and then we actually been selling to Japan, and we're in talks with some guys in Europe.
Wow, very cool. And different versions or sizes of the tire shooter, what do we have there?
We got the 23 footer that you see up there on display right now, and then we have a skid steer model or a small wheel loader. That would be
is that right here?
Yep, that's right there. Okay. That would be the 16 footer.
16 footer right here. Okay.
And basically you fill it as full as your skid steer can handle.
Okay. So before we get too far along here, Jim, we should point people for more information on the tire shooter and some other amazing products that you have here. Your website is midwestsidewalls.com?
Yep, midwestsidewalls.com with an S on that.
Okay. Great company right out here out of Wisconsin in the heartland of the USA, folks. So let's talk about how the business changed. Again, your grandpa in the tire business, you got into it, and you've taken the business different directions. Jim, talk about your next step in your advancement here.
Yep, so when we went from the tire shop, we closed the tire shop up, we started selling sidewalls, and then we sold tire shooters, and then we went into the plastic. Okay. And we've been selling quite a bit of plastic throughout the Midwest, actually throughout the United States, I should say. Okay. And then now we've developed it into more equipment, and we actually have an offshoot company called Stout Equipment.
Yeah, well, I'll pan around here, Jim. You stay there, and on that topic, Stout Equipment, there you go, folks. A new dump cart here, the DC 1125. Now, the name Stout, I was guessing maybe you're a graduate of UW Stout?
Yep, UW Stout.
But the name goes beyond that in terms of the quality and strength of production. Can you talk about that, Jim?
Yeah, we had a guy that actually ran a tire shooter into a poured wall, and it withheld it, and he said that it was a really stout piece of equipment, and that's how we kind of came up with the name, and also I was with UW Stout.
Okay.
That's also the background behind it.
Tell us about the dump cart here.
So the dump cart, it's 1125. That's 1,125 cubic feet. Okay. It's 2 dumps into a 36-foot trailer without overflowing it, or 1 dump into a 24-foot trailer.
Okay.
And we have the high flotation tires on it. The drop-down hydraulic gate for opening your corn silage fields up without having to get out of the cab. Okay. To save some silage from hitting the ground.
And you released the new cart here when? A couple years ago, or just recent?
We've been selling the cart for 3 years, but the model that you see in front of you is the newest model that we have that came out this year.
Okay. And
the drop-down gate.
I understand sales have been brisk, to put it mildly.
Yep.
Do you have product available?
We do have 2 carts available. Okay. And we're making more as we speak. Gotcha. To keep up with demand.
Gotcha. Yeah. What have customers been saying about it, Jim?
What they like about it is that it's a simple design, and it floats when they need it, and hopefully they don't need to use it, but when they do, it works as they need at a reasonable price. And let's pivot back to the tire shooter here again, because last time we were at the show, there were so many people stopping to visit. What are your customers saying about it that have used it now? Is it what they hoped for? Yeah, so we do a lot of demos. That's how we started out. We do free demos where we drop them off at the farm, and we've only picked up a handful of them.
Once they get it,
once they get their hands on it, it usually does not leave the farm. And we've had a lot of customers that actually have 2 or 3 tire shooters.
Wow, very cool. Now, you developed that. Your grandpa was still around. I understand he passed like a year or so ago. At about 100 years old, was it?
100 years old. Yep. And that was that post that you posted on Facebook.
Yeah. Thanks for reaching out with that again, Jim. That was your grandpa was still working and farming at.
Yep. He was driving tractor up until '98.
Wow. He got that work ethic.
Yeah.
Now, on the topic of work ethic, we have the next generation back here, folks. Jim, okay if we go visit the boss man?
Yep. Let's go visit the boss man.
Okay. Now, folks, the boss man,
Hayden, you gotta stand up.
son Hayden. How old is Hayden, Jim?
Hayden's 11.
All right, Hayden. Boss man.
You're on video.
All right, come here, boss man. You're 11 years old, Hayden? When's your birthday?
Here, give me that, buddy.
April 30th? Okay. So, you help out with the business. I understand you like to drive skid steer. And what kind of skid steer is it?
Bobcat.
Bobcat. And is it, I understand it has tracks as well. You like tracks?
Yep.
Attaboy. Good job. Now, Dad, boss man here, you were telling me he gets stuff done.
Yep. He gets, he can load trailers, and he actually assembles tire shooters, gets the parts all together, and then all I have to do is come and double check. It's getting pretty good where he's getting everything done without even having to fix anything. So he's a really good help.
By the way, boss man, you keep rocking, okay? And you're going into 6th grade?
Yep.
6th grade is awesome. You're going to have a good year. Very cool. Does that bring back memories on your side, Jim, of growing up and helping out on the farm and in the business?
Yep, I really like it. That's what I did. I was always riding along in a tractor right alongside my dad or my grandpa or my great aunt Arlene.
Right.
So it does bring back good memories to work with them.
And what part of Wisconsin did you grow up?
Central Wisconsin, Owen-Withee, Wisconsin.
Owen-Withee, okay. Now again, Midwest Sidewalls, folks, check it out, their website, midwestsidewalls.com. Many great products. Right behind us, Jim, another product you came out with to help, it's so hard to find help and good help, but can you walk us back and show us your tire cutter here? Yeah, so tell us about the tire cutter here, Jim.
Yeah, we got the tire cutter here. It cuts the sidewalls out. There's more and more demand for the sidewalls, and a lot of people with the semis on the farms where they can cut their own sidewalls out and save that step of disposing them and save that money. So that's
right. That's got to be, it's huge. Yeah, anything that can be a labor saver, time saver.
Yep. And it takes about a minute to cut a tire out on that.
Wow.
So.
And how long did you say you've had the tire cutter?
We've had the tire cutter when we had the tire shop since 2012.
You've been selling them since 2012?
Yep, we've been selling them since 2012.
And if folks are interested in the tire cutter or tire shooter or the dump cart, MidwestSidewalls.com, you have information on all of it?
Yep, we have information. Go to our website, check it out, or give us a call.
Okay, and we got the plastic behind us here. That's a big part of the business.
Yep.
So what else in the business? What is Midwest Sidewalls selling, or what's new? Other than this handful. You've been very busy, Jim, since I saw you last.
We've stepped up our equipment line.
Okay.
But we also, a big, huge side of our business is the plastic.
Sure.
We found some really good plastic that we import at a reasonable price. And I got a great crew of guys that work for me to get that plastic out. It's been a struggle this year.
Sure.
With importing, but we were able to get it done, and silage wasn't uncovered that we normally.
And you have product.
Yep, and we have product. We actually ordered extra for this year, and then on top of it, we bought some domestic plastic.
Okay.
So we do have product available.
And just the whole past 18 months must have been interesting as a business owner, manufacturer. Unique challenges, but you're finding a way to get her done.
Yep, and a lot of it has to do with the customer's understanding. I mean, I think everybody understands what's going on in the world today, and it's been helpful that they understand that.
Right. And Jim, do you have videos out on tire shooter?
Yep, if you go to our website, there's videos of almost every piece of equipment that you see here that you've shown.
Well, folks, again, go check out MidwestSidewalls.com. great Wisconsin company here, making seeing the need and helping farmers be better and more efficient with a number of products. So Jim, thanks so much for giving us the update, and congratulations on your growth. It's fantastic.
Thanks for stopping by.
Okay, so folks, right after we finished the interview, Jim and I were chit-chatting, and a gentleman came up, Fred Broker from near Rice Lake, Wisconsin, and we were visiting about an auction that we filmed for our TV show up near, was it Barron a few years ago, right? And then this just popped up totally organically. But Jim, you have a story on Fred, and you one of your first tire shooters, right?
Yep, one of my first tire shooters. The business was really growing fast, and they stopped. They bought some sidewalls, and they saw a tire shooter, and that's when it was kind of new and nobody was really ever saw it. So I let them use one to try it out. Well,
Okay.
I never wrote it down.
You were busy.
I was busy. I never wrote it down, and I lost the tire shooter. I could not remember where it went to.
Okay.
And then a couple months later,
Well, I think it was
maybe a year later.
Yeah, about a year later, our bookkeeper is wondering why we hadn't paid for that tire shooter, wondering if he had sent the bill and we didn't get it, and he was wondering why we didn't pay for it.
Yep.
So in the budget, we were trying to figure out if we're going to have to pay for that tire shooter or not. So then we called him and asked him if he had sent the bill. Oh, that's the one we lost. So then we got the bill for it.
That is awesome.
And then we paid for it.
That is awesome.
And I really appreciated the honesty. And then one of the things I did is I had a drawing I had people do videos on Facebook of the tire shooter, using the tire shooter.
Sure.
And everyone had a chance to enter in for a free tire shooter then.
Nice.
Because I already kind of wrote it off on
Sure.
the books. So
that's
that's
awesome.
what we did then.
So Fred, let's talk about that. When you got the first tire shooter, you were an early adopter.
Yeah.
What intrigued you about it? How did it work on your farm?
Great. It saves just a tremendous amount of time and labor. I mean, and especially I get to run the skid steer, so it's easy for me. And
Okay.
we can cover our bunker in about 2 hours with about 5 guys, and
Yep.
I just run them up on top of the bunker and they throw them around and we're done.
Versus the old way.
Of taking the skid steer and trying to throw them up there, and it just saves a whole lot of labor and time.
So Jim was telling me that when farmers get them out on the farm to test out, they tend not to come back. They keep them. You can attest to that?
Yeah, because we didn't send a free one back to Silage.
So that is great.
But no, that works really well. And then we use it also to take them off. But
Well, folks, there's your another description of farmers in the heartland. Talk about honesty. Fred calling Jim back, hey, I got to pay you for this thing. That's fantastic.
Well, I think it was about a year and a half.
yeah, it was because we probably got it early fall.
Yeah.
And I think it was the next year that we had. Well, we never got billed for that. Well, the bill must have got lost. So exactly what it was.
Hats off to you, Fred, for calling. That's just beautiful. Beautiful. Thanks for telling us about the tire shooter on your farm.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
So.
Your next piece of equipment is on MachineryPete.com. Search equipment from dealerships across the country to find what you're looking for. Only on MachineryPete.com.